Let's go over Star Wars Episode 9 and writer and director J.J. Abrams. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, as you all know, preliminary work has already begun on principal photography. A lot of the rehearsals between many of the different actors and actresses are taking place right now. I'm not so quite sure about Daisy Ridley, though. We do know that she's training for her role as Rey in the final film of the sequel trilogy. But looking past all of this, J.J. Abrams, alright, the man who started the sequel trilogy, starting off with The Force Awakens. He didn't do The Last Jedi, that was directed by Rian Johnson, and now he's back for the final movie at heart. So, looking at everything that has been going on with the Star Wars franchise, specifically of, everything that happened with The Last Jedi, how the community became completely divided based on decisions by Rian Johnson and what Kathleen Kennedy approved, etc. I'm really still curious as to what J.J. Abrams will do to wrap up the entire sequel trilogy. Now today I want to go over a response by J.J. about Star Wars Episode 9, and he goes over something very much brief that has all to do with the final film in the sequel trilogy. So when he was being questioned, when he was being all questioned about everything that has to do with Episode 9 and the past successes such as The Force Awakens and other films as well, he says we can't just revel in that, we have to go elsewhere. He also goes on to say, it's certainly something that I'm aware of now, working on Episode 9. And he goes on to state even further, I feel like we need to approach this with the same excitement that we had when we were kids, loving what these movies were, and at the same time, we have to take them places that they haven't gone, and that's sort of our responsibility. Now, toward the very end of that statement, where he says we have to take them places that they haven't gone, and that's sort of our responsibility. Now, this to me lines directly up with the huge rumor that we could very well be going over to the unknown regions for Episode 9. Now, we do know that by looking at The Last Jedi novelization, that Snoke was seeking the truth of the Force in the unknown regions. Now, I believe that there could very well be a plot element there to come for Episode 9, quite a possibility. Now, apart from that whole entire response by J.J. Abrams, we also learned that Star Wars Episode 9 will be a Star Wars movie that changes everything. Exactly what does that mean? What does that exactly mean, right? That's a huge question for sure. Could this have something to do with the prequel trilogy continuity that JJ will be implementing in this film? Now, we do know that he's going to be using this movie as a tool to combine all 9 movies into one big story. We also know that John Boyega has said before that this movie is going to be an all-out war. Now, in case you guys didn't know, by the way, John Boyega right now is indeed working on Episode 9. His haircut was revealed on the internet. If you guys want to go ahead and check it out, it's grown out more. He's got a new look going on. It looks pretty good to me, honestly. It's a nice little change there. It's longer. But looking at Episode 9, guys, I will say that I really do believe that there's still a chance that he actually could very well wrap up the trilogy in a satisfying way. Now, sure, one of the biggest complaints about The Last Jedi was how Luke was treated and that he was killed off so fast and exactly how he was killed off. Now, we do know that Mark Hamill is still signed on for Episode 9. We're not quite sure exactly what his role will be it a Force Ghost, a Vision, or maybe even a flashback sequence. There are multiple different possibilities of what's to come. So, I would really like to hear from you guys below in the comments section. What do you think about J.J. Abrams? I feel like that if he were to have done all 3 movies, I think that the story would have been more consistent. He could have written all 3 movies from the very start and then just directed all 3 movies. I think that looking at The Last Jedi, a lot of the things that JJ set up in The Force Awakens were all completely disregarded by Rian Johnson. So that's the one thing that I kind of was a little, kind of like a little upset about. I was like, now we gotta wait till Episode 9 for some of those things to actually be involved, because Rian Johnson really couldn't fit those in the story, apparently, such as, the Knights of Ren, explaining how Maz Kanata found the Skywalker lightsaber. The other thing is explaining exactly why the saber called to Rey. I don't think that we really got a, explicit answer on that. But guys, let me know what you think about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.